Hello all and welcome to Stingray Tom's Florida and another dip into the archive. Today I'm taking a quick look at the Mystery Funhouse, which was located in Orlando. Opened from 1976 to 2001, it was one of the earliest attractions in what became known as the International Drive area. While many people won't remember it, even though it closed just a little over 20 years ago, it was a pretty cool part of the emerging tourist scene that developed in response to the opening of Walt Disney World in 1971. The attraction was a rite of passage for Orlando area kids who grew up in the 1970s and 80s. It was basically a carnival funhouse with all sorts of weird and interesting things to do in the building. I've made this video today for a couple specific reasons. The first is sort of a teaser for a series of videos that I'll be making in 2023. This year, I've been taking a look at the St. Johns River and its tourist connections. Part 4 will be finished soon, and then there's just one more part after that. Next year, I'll be taking a look at the creation of Orlando's International Drive, which got its start at the end of the 60s, just like Walt Disney World. The Mystery Funhouse will be part of that story. Secondly, I'm looking at the attraction because its building was just demolished. While the Mystery Funhouse closed in 2001, its building was repurposed, most recently being used as a tourist information and ticket sales spot, but in November 2022, the building was demolished to make way for new development. Located just a couple blocks from the Universal Resort, surrounded by hotels and close to the outlet malls, the 5 acres or 2 hectares of land is valuable. 2022 looked like it would be a successful year for Orlando's tourist industry, and there's a lot of development, most notably a new full-size Universal Resort theme park located a few miles south of the Mystery Funhouse property. This will be an unprecedented 8th theme park in Orlando. In 2022, the market value for the Mystery Funhouse property was estimated to be $4.3 million, but it was sold in September 2022 for $10 million. The purchaser was Grand National Apartments, who will be building the Grand Bainbridge Universal Major Apartments. The 390 luxury units are expected to open in 2024 or 25. This continues the fairly recent trend of building residential complexes in Orlando's tourist area. The now demolished Mystery Funhouse building actually predated the attraction itself. County records show it was built 2 years earlier in 1974, less than 3 years after Walt Disney World opened, though others remember it being built a year or 2 earlier. The building was a preview center for a development that was to be constructed across Kirkman Road on some 2,700 acres or 11 square kilometers of land that today includes the Universal Resort's property. The development would have been known as Florida Center, but because of the 1973 oil crisis and subsequent recession, it never passed the planning stage. The preview center was completed, however, and was used to promote the doomed development. It was also possibly used to promote the opening of SeaWorld in 1973, though I haven't been able to verify that. The creators of the Mystery Funhouse would open their doors in 1976. In a moment, I'll show a TV ad for the Mystery Funhouse from 1989, as well as some clips of what the attraction looked like on the inside. Then I'll show you some of the recent demolition. I'm also going to be sharing some of my experiences in the attraction from the 80s and 90s.
As I mentioned earlier, the Mystery Funhouse was just that, a funhouse, long a staple of state and county fairs, as well as on the Midway connected with traveling circuses and even World's Fairs. Unlike Disney's Magic Kingdom, it was obvious that the Mystery Funhouse was not designed and built by world-class Imagineers. About half of the building was a maze, mixed with weird experiences contained in about 18 rooms or areas. While the maze was built by professional construction workers, I doubt that the materials used amounted to more than a few $1,000s. There was lots of plywood and objects that today could be found in any local charity haunted house at Halloween. Still, it was a great deal of fun, especially for kids and young adults. I feel bad for the parents who went through the attraction with their kids, But back then, it was pretty common for teens to be dropped off at the Mystery Funhouse, while parents enjoyed whatever adults might do without their kids. First of all, here's the TV ad from 1989.
The Wizard invites you to his Mystery Funhouse, where you journey through his many mysterious corridors and unusual rooms, then enter his inner sanctum, if you dare. He's conjuring up loads of fun for the entire family, and for a short time, he's opening his doors for only 99 cents, with 99-cent season passes, food specials, and mini golf. Then enjoy the all-new laser game, Starbase Omega. So hurry down, the Wizard awaits you.
And now, here's a look at the attraction along with a description of some of the experiences. Once you paid your admission, you entered a confusing maze of transparent glass panels which led to a wobbly suspension bridge. There was the tilted room, an optical illusion, and a tiny discotheque, complete with a lighted dance floor, flashing lights, mirrored walls, and of course disco music. That was simply weird to happen upon, and eventually it was replaced by the Forbidden Temple. It had a pit with a floor that would separate, exposing hot lava. Luckily, there was plexiglass to walk on, which the lava never seemed to melt. There was a Dungeon of Horrors, yet another staple of carnivals. People have said that the figures in the dungeon were wax, but I'm not sure, though they certainly were gruesome. Severed heads, simmering soups with body parts sticking out, and ghouls feasting on eyeballs. There was a jail maze, and then the rotating barrel, which was filled with kids wanting to either spend a lot of time in it or wanting to pass through as quickly as possible, making a rather confusing situation much of the time. Eventually, you'd be invited into the inner sanctum of the Wizard. It was an oddly shaped room. People would be ushered in and left standing in the dark. This would get one of the little kids to cry if they hadn't done so already. Once enough victims were assembled, a short melodrama would begin. The plot pitted the Wizard against some undescribed evil which was trying to destroy the assembled mass. There were flashing lights, bizarre music, and movies of the Wizard which told the story. While the inner sanctum was the climax of the overall experience, visitors would still need to go through several other areas, including the room of punching bags and the hall of funhouse mirrors, to escape. All of it was hokey, even in the 1980s, but young people loved it, showing that as great as Disney design and technology is, kids were also happy with even rather basic things. The Mystery Funhouse filled the other half of its attraction with a snack bar, photo studio, shooting arcade, magic shop, gift shop, and a large game arcade with pinball and video games. One of the first places in Orlando that featured early games such as Space Invaders and Asteroids. Eventually, there was a dino-themed mini golf course built in the patio area next to the building, and a laser tag experience in a large dome structure in the rear of the property. While the Mystery Funhouse was a hokey attraction designed for kids using age-old technology and simple building materials, it was very popular in the early days of Orlando's emerging tourist market. Both visitors and locals enjoyed it. People would talk of how ridiculous the place was while agreeing they enjoyed the couple of hours they spent there. But as the area matured, with Universal Studios opened in 1990 and professionally designed small attractions such as Ripley's Believe It or Not and Wonderworks popping up on International Drive, the days of the Mystery Funhouse were numbered. It closed in February 2001, and it should be remembered as one of the first and most successful attractions built in the International Drive area. Thanks for watching another of my videos. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to learn more about Florida's tourism history. Stingray Tom's Florida, traveling through time around the Sunshine State.